Test 1 2. Test 1 2. All right, just about a minute before the open. Gotta adjust some of my screen settings here. Put this back to 1 day. All right. It's over here. And looks like we are at the open. All right, I'm gonna have to get situated here. Okay, so 8:30 in the morning. We are almost done with the opening range. I'm going to annotate it here with the orange lines. Oh, got another 20, 30 seconds. Getting close. Watching the 5-minute, the 15, watching the NASDAQ as well, as per usual. All right, there's one. Right there. Okay, well I had 43.80 as the target for last night. Obviously we came down through that and got quite a bit lower on the overnight session. We've got on the left side the 15-minute candles. Overnight low is the red dotted line. Overnight high is the green dotted line. So yesterday was a pretty decent sell-off later in the day. I'm just taking a look at the daily chart to see if there's any insight I can glean from that. As far as targets below, they're gonna definitely be the overnight low of 43.60 to 62. But I'm gonna watch and see what we're doing here first, and then if we do fade and I get short, I'll definitely look for some other targets that we might hit. Pull up the NASDAQ here. NASDAQ looking weaker as well. We've got, it's no surprise that gray line got touched. Let me get the opening range on NASDAQ. Okay. So yeah, looking at the daily on NASDAQ, it also is looking pretty weak. Let me pull that one up. That's not the one. There we go. All right, so here's the daily on NASDAQ. Sell off yesterday. Today's Friday. And we are just going to watch to see what we can get. Let's see the ES here. So on every trade, we need to know where we are right and wrong. A lot of times, for me at least, most importantly, knowing where I am wrong is very helpful. All right, we'll get back to the 1 minute and the 15. Let me shut this down. Okay. So yesterday I had a pretty big hunch, like earlier in the day, or pretty big, I don't know what you'd call it, but I knew I wanted to get short, and the question was just where to join the party, where to jump in on the action. Yes, here's yesterday's opening range. I'm going to get rid of those orange bars there. Knew I liked it short. I just couldn't figure out a good risk-reward spot. I considered the open, but it was a little unclear, and then we sold off nicely. But was able to get short up in here a few times, and then later in the day, caught this one, scaled out, and wrote it down a little bit. I didn't record that one, though. But today, gonna. I don't have. I feel like we continue going lower. Um, but as usual, I'm just trying to find the best spot to do that. And usually, if I have an idea of what I think is going to happen, I just like to have something I can lean against as far as not just jumping right in willy nilly, but having a level that I like or support that's then broken and then hopping on the bandwagon. It was difficult. Well, it can be difficult. It wasn't that bad for me yesterday. It was hard knowing that I wanted to short this thing, but knowing that we could just as well push up into here. It took some patience and some restraint to sit, but then get it on the pullback and follow through with your main idea for the day. But that one rewarded me, and it was good. A lot of those trades up there, we didn't really take much heat, and a lot of them worked out in my favor quite quickly. So that's always nice when you get into a trade and it just starts moving well. It seems like, in looking at the stats that I go over on a weekly basis, that my best trades or most of my winners are ones I get in, and within 10-15 minutes it starts doing what I need to do. Whereas some of my losers, I could be in them for 20, 30, 40 minutes. It's hanging out, not doing much. I'm still with it, and then it goes against me. So for me, there is usually a time component to it as far as when it starts moving in the direction I'm desiring it to. As far as scale outs and all that, sometimes those take hours. Like yesterday, once we came up here, it was just a slow grind down, and so that one took some patience, and it helped to have some scale out areas along the way as well. It helped to scale some here around 08, and then a little bit more here down at 02, and then lastly right down here in the lower 90s. Right, I'm just gonna pull up NASDAQ again. So NASDAQ sitting on the lows came down to its overnight low. Got NASDAQ on one of my other screens. Well, let's see what some other targets could be. NASDAQ still looking kind of heavy in my opinion. On ES, we came up to that 80 level and just got rejected pretty quickly. So here's our opening range, came down here, quick rejection, push off it. We've got to always know where we're right and wrong. Let's edit this guy. Let's see if we can make it bigger. There we go. 20. All right. So we're kind of into that support level. And yesterday, remember, last few days, the issue was there was support here and resistance here. So we're under it. Can't push more, we take it up. But then yesterday, the issue was there was a good amount of resistance here and support here. But looking at the daily, I just felt like the market really didn't have anywhere to go. So it just continued lower. We're going to watch and see what it does at the overnight here. Watching NASDAQ closely. Yeah, so same deal. It looks weak to me. I know I want to short it. And the question then is where do I want to join the party? Where do I want to jump in? All right, well, we're coming down to, looks like the overnight got close to Monday's low. This is Monday's low put in at 1 o'clock. Then we had a move off of that. So we got close, got down to 60, 43.60 in the overnight. Looks like the low is 43.57, maybe 57 quarter. This is that area here. And I'm never really in a hurry to get in a trade. I used to have a fear of missing out, FOMO, right? And I just realized that. So number one, I'm not a scalper by any means. And so with that, I've realized that a lot of my setups, I'll have a good idea of what I want to see, maybe 10 or 15 or 20, even 30 minutes before the setup happens and before it comes to me. And then once I see it getting into an area like an inflection point, a spot that I like, even then, I've got usually a minute or two or even 3 to decide if I like price action, how it's looking, and then I can get into it. So what's tempting for me as a trader who is always trying to be more disciplined and stick to my rules, to be consistent and disciplined in every trade, the mornings can get me excited, and they've gotten me in trouble in the past where I've got a bias. I think I know what the market's going to do, and sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I jump in and then it goes right against me. and I get in because there's a fear of missing out. So even this morning and yesterday morning, I have a bias that I think we could sell off. I think we could move lower. And so in the past, I probably would have just, gotten in at one of these points right at the open, first minute or two before the market kind of settles out and shakes out and does its thing. And at times, it can really just, for me at least, throw me into a funk if the market moves against me. And then I'm like upside down, and like right is up and up is down and left is down, stuff like that. Obviously, left isn't down, left is right. But that's just the kind of mindset that it puts me in. And I just have a much more difficult time because of taking that loss and going through the mental frustration of that. So it's helpful for me to just sit back, be patient. I will scalp every now and then, but it's usually once there's kind of a tone going for the day. Once things have shaken out a bit. So right now in the morning, it's helpful for me to just sit back, check it out, watch it, see what we're gonna do. So a lot of trading is like if then, if this, then that, but if this, then that. So as I'm looking at the daily chart here, one thing that's going through my mind is, let me expand this a little bit or get rid of this here. Let's see. Yeah, so one thing that's going through my mind is, okay, I have a bias to the short side. I think we could go lower, but I have to be mindful too that we could come down, looking at a daily here, put a wick in here, and then reverse up and go ahead and try to climb back up into this area if the market isn't ready to just go further down. So it doesn't mean that I'm still not biased to the short side, but I just have to always be mindful that, hey, I think we could go down, but maybe we don't. Maybe we come down here, test this low from Monday or take it out, run some stops, and then come on right back up and hang out somewhere in this area for the day. As far as what I think is most likely, I don't know just yet, but I feel like here within another, I could be anywhere from 15 minutes to a half hour, maybe even 45 minutes. I feel like I could have a better idea. And so certainly we've got to always be mindful of that. So watching the 1 minute here, got close to overnight low, kind of pushed off, came up here, testing the opening range, and we'll kind of watch it and see what we do, see if we get any continuation down. NASDAQ is weak. It did pierce its overnight low. So let me pull up NASDAQ real quick. Take a look at the daily here on my chart. All right. So NASDAQ got pretty close. I've got this line here as potential support. We may not hit it. NASDAQ did take out its Monday lows, but going back to late January where I've got this line, there's a good amount of support here from about 4 days in late January. So I've got to be mindful of that. Got to be mindful that we could push back up into here somewhere. So again, we've got to know where we are right and wrong on every trade, every single trade. And I've told myself, if I don't know where I'm wrong, then I can't get in that trade. Too often in the past, I'll have some sort of opinion as to where the market might go, and so for fear of missing out, I'll start placing trades, but really not have an area where I can tell myself, man, if it goes here, I'm wrong. So I would just average in, and before I know it, the market's gone totally against me. It's not doing anything near to what I think it's going to do. and you're in a bad way because you averaged in and you didn't really have a spot where you knew you're wrong. I'm not saying that it's bad to average in. I'm saying that if you do average in, know where you're wrong, know where you need to get out, know structurally what the market has to do in order to tell you, hey, this isn't the setup you thought it was. This isn't working. All right, so NASDAQ on the 15 minute, it's holding above overnight low, came down and pierced it. Here, let me look at the Emini. Getting some strength here for sure. All right, change this to a 5 minute. So here's the 5 minute. A whole bunch to look at, but this is noteworthy that we came down here, tested, now we're right back above and right in the range of where we opened up at. So the main charts I watch are the daily for overall bigger picture, higher, 30,000 foot view perspective, 15 minute, 5 minute, and the 1 minute. They all serve a purpose. I'll also watch the NASDAQ to see if I can glean any insight as to what it's doing or trying to do. Got to adjust some of my settings here. I know I can make these numbers bigger on the side so they're easier to view. ES, new highs of the day. NASDAQ lagging a little bit. Not there just yet, but it is up into its range. Looking strong, looking like it wants some more. Wants to go higher at least. Something I like to remind myself for every day is that there are 3 different positions a trader can have. You can be a buyer, you can be long, you can be a seller, you can be short, or you can be flat. You can have no position that you are in. Currently, I am flat. I'm waiting for more information from the market. All right, here come the buyers. Come on. Sorry about the blackout here. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. Kind of a telling bar here on the 15-minute. Came down. Got up higher above opening range. Looking strong. Pushing above this node. Let's see. Yeah, first battle is going to be kind of this 94 area, getting up above that. Make that yellow. Be mindful of that. Alright, so far we're just kind of back and forth. Wondering if we get a pullback into here and then continue higher. We'll see. But yeah, in my mind, this 94 is the first kind of challenge we've got to get above in order to go higher. I think there's some data coming out here in about 30 seconds. Shouldn't be market moving data, but what do we got here? Let's see. Oh, existing home sales. So there could be a move. So we'll watch it here. Could get interesting. Good to be mindful of that. Wondering if we pull down and then push higher up into here. So if we get above this line, next target would be up in here, 08 to 10, kind of bumping against that overnight high. I don't have a position on yet. I haven't taken a trade yet. Let's see what the market's going to do with existing home sales info. I feel like if I did take a long down in here, I'd be wrong below this little spike, 74. So I might consider it. I'll kind of watch what it does if it gets in this range here. Nasdaq and ES still a little bit mixed. Checking out the 5-minute here. Give it a second here. Okay, I'm buying a little bit here. so I'm in right at this 81 level. If I had another working order right here, I'm gonna remove that. So let's see what we can do here. At this spot, I'm wrong below 74. So if we come back through the opening range, come down here, then I'm wrong. I may add, depending on how things look down here, if we can hold. I don't know what the data is for home sales. I really could care less. I'm just watching to see the data that we're getting here. I'm just watching to see the data that's showing up on the screens. I'm gonna buy just a little bit more right here. Not a lot, so I'm in just over a quarter of the allowable position that I'll allow myself to get into. NASDAQ is coming down again, getting closer to its overnight low, but not pushing down into it. Finding a little bit of resistance, or support rather, on NASDAQ. So on this one, if this takes several minutes, that's okay. I'm not looking for a scalp. Coming down and then rocketing right up, like, that's always fun. That'd be great. But if we kind of come down and make like a nice curve shape as well, I'm cool with that. I like that. Gonna put a hard stop in for this area. So let's see. 03, I'll do that. What are you doing here? What in the world? There we go. Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, so we're long. 81 quarters, our average price. I'd still buy a little bit more if we get down into here. I'm wrong below 74. First target's gonna be, I might take a quarter of it off here at 90, but first target really should be around this 92 to 94 area. So let me put another line there. All right, 5 minutes looking good. We just, we've got a new candle. Definitely got our work cut out for us, though. Yeah, got our work cut out for us to try to push higher. But I like the risk to reward on this one. I think it's okay. Still watching NASDAQ. And I just bought a tiny bit more down here. Okay, so it got close to that level. Well, it looks like it still might get into it. Let's see. So right now I'm in about half of what I will allow myself to get into. So I've got 4 different sizes where I'll do a half. I'll do a full position, 3/4 position, half position, or quarter position. So I started out here with a quarter, and right now at this point I'm in half. So I haven't loaded the boat or anything like that. I'm wrong below this 74 area. Watching the NQ real close to overnight lows. Got another minute left on the 5-minute bar here. Needing it to stay above this 74 level. All right, not looking great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there we go. All right, we've got another 20 seconds left here on the 5-minute. Hopefully we can put in a little bit of a wick and then continue higher. I'm looking for up here in the 90s for a target. Decent risk to reward, I feel. Average price is right here at 80, so we're giving it 6 points, and then I'm looking for about 10 points for the first scale. 13 to 12 points up here, and then I'll leave a run around to see if we can get up above here, up above that. I'm not super bullish for the day. This is just a shorter term trade for me. I feel that if we get up into here, above here, that at some point later in the day we could fail and then have a nice push downward. That's just my opinion. All right, 5 minutes looking good. Let me show you that one. Let's put my first scale out here. 88, we'll do that. All right, so my first scale out's going to be here, this 88 level. Kind of getting that curl I thought we might get. Really not complete yet. Was looking decent on the 5-minute. Trying to push a little bit lower. NASDAQ just broke through its overnight low, so gotta be mindful of that. And I'd like to see if it broke through here on a 15-minute. We've got another 3 minutes before the 15-minute NASDAQ candle closes, but I'd like to see a pop off of that area. There we go. Okay. Let's see if they can hold it at this 74. Yeah, NASDAQ's going to have to definitely straighten up its act in order to do that. Could be a little bit of a head fake here regarding going down, coming up, and then thought we'd find some strength in here and then move on up. But so far we haven't. And looking at the 5-minute, getting close to that level. I'm just going to inch my stop down a tiny bit here. Still want to see the NASDAQ hold above that level. Kind of the scene of the crime on the 5 minute. That's where the big pop was. Big Papa. That's where it was. Let's see here, right? So we're down, kind of took out stops down here, ran it up, came up, and now this is like scene of the mini crime. It wasn't anything major, no murder, maybe a little larceny, something like that. So I'm going to put it back to the 1 minute here and see if we can glean any insight. I'm tempted here to get long and then just hold my stop real close, or to add another piece. So I'm going to add just a tiny bit here, add a little bit down there, and then keep my stop right about in the same spot. Still, we need to see that 74 level hold. Need to see that. NASDAQ's looking decent. It's got 30 seconds to go on the 15 minute. S&P's looking good too, looking better, but we're still not out of the woods. We've got to get up and above this here. Once we get above this, I'll see what it does up in here, and then at that point, if we are up in this area, my stop will definitely be this level down here. So NASDAQ's looking decent. We've got 3 seconds left until a new 15-minute bar comes in. Let's see if we can get any follow through here. Let's see, this is kind of the curl, the test I was looking for. All right, getting a little push. I'm scaling out it just a tiny bit here. There we go. Scaled out of just a portion. Gonna scale out of a little bit more. Okay. All right, there we go. Looking good. All righty. Okay, so I'm out of almost half of my position right here at this at the high 80s, 89. The NASDAQ really straightened up for us on that one. Hard stop now right here at 74 for the remainder. There it was. There's the old head fake. So let's see if we hold this level now. It's kind of important. Yeah, probably should have got out of a little bit more up here, but I'm pleased with that location. So we came up, this is interesting. Could confirm my bias to the short side for the day. Okay, I just lightened up down here a little bit. And I've got a remaining bit that I'm going to keep right here. My stop loss is right at that area. NASDAQ playing tricks on us, right? The 15-minute bar closed really well. Got above that, but then NASDAQ couldn't get up into its opening range. So that was a nice move. I'm pleased with that. Sometimes you got to be a little bit more reflexive, and with that, the move was so quick. I was glad I got out here instead of waited until up here. So yeah, I'm holding a little bit here, kind of got a tight leash on it. I don't like it. I might even exit out a little bit more. Okay. So I'm holding just 1/10 of my original position, or about 15% against this low right here, the 74.5. That's it. If it breaches that, I don't want it. Not interested. Good job on the market's part as far as if it does hold and then we do get that rally up into here. I would say well done, Mr. Market. You got me. But the trade's been profitable. Just had to be kind of quick on your feet on that one. It's tempting to not get excited with that move up quickly. It's always nice when you put a position on and then quickly it just goes in your favor. As I mentioned earlier, the ones that I tend to do the best on, I'll get it usually within about 10-15 minutes. So right here, looks like at 9:02, I was starting the position, added some more in here, and then a little bit more down here, and then a tiny bit here, kind of gutsy, but I figured I'd keep a real tight stop on it. So that was 9:02, and it was in our favor by about 9:15. So just, yeah, about 12-13 minutes there that it worked out. 5 minutes looking kind of ugly here. Glad I just got a small piece on for the remainder of this. Not too much here to get excited about. Could have been nice. Could have been that curl I was looking for. But I'm still in it. Still holding against this low. And who knows? You just never know what the market's going to do. Got to be mindful of that. If this, then that. If that, then this. I was pleased with this little extra I added down here, thinking, well, we're still not to 74. I saw it come down here and put in this green candle, and then thought, okay, all right, I'll take that deal. I'll risk, 3 points, right? If I'm getting in at, say, 77, risking 3, looking for another 10 points, which we got on that little leg that we added down here. So that's good. I'll take it. But now the issue, let me pull up a 5-minute. So NASDAQ's hanging out below its overnight low. Here's the 5. Looking at this the other day, 80 to mid-70s was definitely support. This is support in here. And it'll be interesting if we go ahead and push through that. So perhaps I should have been looking for a short up here. I know earlier in the day I still am biased to the short side. So it got me stopped out on that last piece. My stop was right here at 74. I'm stopped out of that. But the trade was profitable and worked out well, was executed well. So we'll wait for the next. Yeah, it could be that my bias is proven right, as NASDAQ is still heavy. It's below overnight low. So now in my mind, I'm wondering if this is a place where I want to get short. That's kind of bigger time frame. So again, I feel I do better looking at longer time frames during the day versus short little blips here and there. This for me was one I think I mentioned when I was getting into it. I wasn't, just married to it, didn't have a strong conviction that we would just push up and away. And so we tried getting up here, couldn't even get up to this 94 level, which down in here, that probably should have been a good sign. I'm glad that I got out of the rest of my position here, kind of a scratch on some of those, but could have been a sign of some definite weakness where we're, coming up here and then failing to the downside. NASDAQ is still quite weak, hasn't touched its low of the day, but it got close. It's still hanging out here under the overnight low. E-mini looking weak as well. I'm tempted here to want to short this where I'd be wrong above 82, but we'll hold off here for a minute. Let's see what the 5 minutes looking like. Okay, so we get down to 62. Pushed it up to 90, 68. We'll watch this 68 level, see if we get any buyers in around here. 68, that's going to be somewhat important. Thinking back on that trade I just take, I'm pleased with that first scale in here, and even down here that wasn't bad. So I think my execution on that was okay. It was good risk to reward. Maybe got a little bit antsy buying it here, but again I was in it a quarter of my allowable size here, then added to where I was in about half, with an average price around 79. And a tiny bit more down here. Good management. They can't all work out and just be Grand Slam winners. NASDAQ still looking weak here. ES, I feel, is trying to follow suit. Will it stay below this area? That's the question. Or does it come back up to somewhere in here and then fail? NASDAQ just put in a new low of the day. Kind of close to some support though. My screens are moving slowly. That's not cool. There we go. Alright. Unfreeze that thing. Yeah, I'm running this OBS software with YouTube live streaming. It's not a computer from the 80s. So I feel like it should be keeping up. But, man, it's just moving slow. I'd like to know what the market's doing. I know it's not frozen right there. All right. Let's see what's going to happen here. Here's our 15-minute. I'm not long or short just yet. So again, we ask ourselves, what is the market trying to do, and is it doing a good job? What's my computer trying to do, and is it doing a good job? It's trying to give me market data. It's slow, and no, it's not doing a good job. Not impressed. Not impressed, Mr. Computer. Okay, NASDAQ still weak, and it's been hanging out below. Oh, that's the overnight. It's been hanging out below some overnights. So looks like that 76 area was a pretty good level to short at. Came down, tested the range, then back in. All right. But it's anyone's game right here, bulls or bears. I feel bearish for the day. I feel bearish. Oh, so bearish. But just because you feel it doesn't mean it's real. In the words of Radiohead. Good song. Okay, we are 10 seconds away from another 15-minute bar closing. NASDAQ 15-minute looking pretty weak. E-mini looking weak as well. Here we go. Let's see if this is the push. See what it does around the 68. Goes right through it. NASDAQ coming up on some support here. Ticks are getting pretty low. Computer's moving pretty slow. NASDAQ new lows of the day. ES getting close to overnight low. Let me pull up NASDAQ real quick. Ooh, NASDAQ looking pretty ugly. Looking pretty ugly. Stops are our friends, right? So nice to have a stop in at that level. We were right to a degree, and then we were wrong, and the stop was our friend. Nice short there. That was a little bit of a missed opportunity. Should have figured if it blew through that 74. NASDAQ was showing weakness below the overnight, just hanging out there, not doing much. Would have been a good risk to reward where you'd risk 6, right? You take it short at 76. You're wrong above 82 or 82.5 even. So you could have risked 5.5 points there, looking for 8 points and then 10. Then the nice thing is a continuation, right? So you get out of half your position here, put the other stop right here at pretty much break even, and then let this thing ride out. Scale off a little, peel off a little bit here down at 60 or 62. That's the spot, right? That is it. Wonder what existing home sales was. Who knows? Who knows? So we've got to know where we are right and wrong in every trade. Every trade. Where we right, where we wrong. Yeah, that was a good one there. That spike down, come up. That was a nice one. So we couldn't take out 90. Couldn't even get up to 94. That's telling. Bears were just too ready to sell it up here. Just too ready, too strong. Wouldn't even let him get up to here. Pushed it down. Taking a look at NASDAQ. $14,000 even. Could be an area of a little bit of support. So ES took out the low of the day. Hasn't gotten down to the overnight low yet. Bumping against the 68. Not that that's a big area of concern, but that's just what it's doing right now. $9:35. We're an hour and only an hour and 5 minutes in. We've got to know that honing this skill offers asymmetrical rewards. So let's write that down up here. That's a good reminder. Edit this guy, make it a little bit bigger here. 24 will go pretty big. Oh yeah. Honing, hopefully that's how you spell honing, not sure. Honing this skill offers asymmetrical rewards. Boy, that is the truth. Push below 68 on ES there. Came back up to it. Looks like we're trying to fail. NASDAQ's still weak, still just on its butt. NASDAQ's got another 50 points until it could hit a little bit of support. ES has, let's see, how many points? 7 points here on the 15-minute until we test Monday's low. Not sure if this is a bottom. My overall bias, as you recall, is to the short side for the day. Not doing it just yet. Not doing it, not getting it lower. Let me pull up my 5-minute chart here. It looks interesting. Trying to get them lower, we can't. So my bias is short for the day. However, I've got to keep in mind that that can change. And as I'm observing market information, I'll have to tell myself that. Oh, pardon me. A little bit of a yawn there. Market generated information can change. Looking at the 15-minute. This 80 level is obviously resistance now. Kind of below this little area of action. Way below what we did last Friday. So that was Monday. This area on Monday. Watching the 5-minute candle, we've got another 30 seconds left. Kind of struggling here so far to push lower. Let's see. Where are we at here? That one. Got to mute it for just a second. All right, back in, back on. Let's watch this 4360 level. As it is important, we pushed right through it, getting close to Monday's lows on the daily, and looking here at the 15-minute chart, Monday's lows. Boy, that was a nice entry there, that 76. Good risk to reward on that trade. That was probably the trade of the day so far. Coming down, taking out those stops, coming back up, risking 6, looking to get 10 plus, and letting it ride. Letting it run. So now this is where I've got to be mindful. Even though I like it short to the downside, what I mentioned earlier, could we potentially, on the daily, come down, make a little wick down here, and then get some buyers and bring us back up into this area here, and down here? That's going to be the question. That's the question. Is the question. Or does it turn into yesterday where we just slowly, you look at yesterday, came up and just real nicely just sold off the whole day. What's the tempo? What is the tempo like? That's the question. I'm going to put a, oops, not that. I'm going to put a line right there. I'm mindful of this area. 68, gonna get rid of this guy up here. Locked in, it's in the mind. Remove. All right, we'll kind of make this a yellow one. Edit properties, make it yellow. All right, it's an area of significance, as is this area right here. Got another, let's see. Another, minute and a half left until the 15-minute bar completes. Short sellers taking profit. People who got long on Monday holding it right at this level, they're doing business here too. Putting a little wick in on the 5-minute chart. We've got another minute to go though on the 5-min. Watching NASDAQ, see if it pushes lower. Let me pull this up. See if we can glean any insight. Okay, NASDAQ's getting closer. Well, it's that 1400 area even. It could be support for NAS. It's a Friday. 3rd Friday of the month, right? I think. Yes, no, maybe. So if it is, the option should be expiring, the monthlies. So that can affect us as well. Got to be mindful of that. I am not long here. I'm not short. We got long a little bit up here. Took advantage of this. Kept a piece on. Got stopped out here. Thought about it here. Didn't. Would have been a nice trade lower. We're looking for the next. So NASDAQ again. 3 seconds left here on the 15-minute. Putting in a decent sized wick. And let's see now what the story becomes. 5-minute. Couldn't get any continuation through. The next battleground would be the 68 if we're looking for a long. Want to see what it reacts, how it reacts up here and what it does. Still, the trend is still the downside. Considering along somewhere, I just don't know where yet, as the market could push lower. The question is then where to. I've got some areas drawn out here. 64, 43.35. That's quite a ways below us. So 68 is our first level. Then 70 is probably another level looking at the 15 or looking at the 5-minute chart. 68 and 70. That's where it's got to get above. Just waiting. Don't have any FOMO here. There's nothing I'm concerned about missing out on. Little psychology. A little bit of psychology. It's helpful. Just going to pull up some other dailies here, and then I'll get right back to the E-mini. Oh, there we go. let's get back to the E-mini. Here we go. Testing once again. Suppose we could try along here against the low of the day. I don't really like it. I'm not sold on it. I think it goes lower. Yeah, so I'm not in a trade right here. Just kind of thinking out loud. We'll watch it here though. See what it does. Trend is still very much to the downside. Yeah, here we go. There we go there. 76, that was the area, wasn't it? That was the area. All right, looks like let's see, what's my low there on Monday? We definitely hit some stops from Monday. So that was 57. So we ran some stops from Monday, low of Monday. Hit him here. Not trying to catch a falling knife here. Any other time I might try to get long, but I'm just looking at the daily chart. Still just feels heavy to me. I might change my tune here in a little bit. We've got another 9 minutes until the 15-minute bar is done. So we've got a little bit of time with that. Goal for this week is no emotion. None. 9. No emotion on any one trade. Let the market do what it's going to do, then just participate. Follow your rules. No FOMO. Stuff like that. All right. Three more minutes until the 5-minute bar is done. 5 minute, let me show you what that looks like. Here's the 5 minutes, so it came up. Well, here's the open right around here. Came up and then just right down. And going down, not going anywhere quickly, but just steadily marching lower. Steadily marching lower. Trend is to the downside. Hanging out above the overnight low. Took out Monday's low. Our NASDAQ put in a new low of the day on the 15 minute. We got 5 more minutes until the 15 minutes done. We're kind of hanging out here. This is the next area of contention, the 68 to 70 level. Daily looks pretty weak to me. Oops. Let me pull up the NASDAQ. NASDAQ also looks weak, but keeping in mind that we could be nearing support here. So got to be mindful of that. Could have a little bit of a bounce. Feeling a little bit of FOMO right here, I'm not going to lie. I am the no FOMO trader, but not always. I don't really like it long here, but in my head I'm thinking, well, boy, there's a good risk to reward. We're stalling here, we're not moving quickly, but I'm not just sold on it, not sold on it just yet. Got all this up above here now, this area as resistance. So I'm not going to commit to a long, not just yet, unless I see something different. Now, it could be a rotational day where we kind of get up into here, come back, and then just go up and back and forth. We'll see. All right, we've got 3 minutes left on the 15-minute bar for NASDAQ and the E-mini. We are holding here above overnight low, trying to hold in there, trying to hang in there. Five minute, doing its thing. Let's see here. Every now and then I'll just pull up a fib to see where halfback is. Here, no big. 72. So nothing really coming to me just yet. No insight, no nuance, nothing that I'm really seeing that excites me, that makes me want to pull the trigger on any certain trade. Oh, so we've taken out the low from RTH on Monday, but we haven't yet taken out the overnight low. We're close, like dangerously close. But this is not a spot where I'm looking to get long. Got to remember that honing this skill offers asymmetrical rewards. Asymmetrical. It's good to not get yourself in a hurry. It is a Friday, so traders are ending their week, settling up the score. Taking money off the table. All right, we've got 20 seconds left until our 15-minute bar starts a new one. Almost 10 o'clock. Almost 10 o'clock. Looking weak. Not trying to catch a falling knife here. I might later in the day, but not at this level. Might try in the 30s somewhere, but again, depending on price action, depending on how it looks. Now I think we're bumping up those overnight against those overnight lows from Monday to Sunday. Five minutes still just looks weak, kind of just cascading down. NASDAQ 2, not looking too strong, trending lower. Trending here on the 15 minute. Just came down, up, then down. That was the tell right there, that one. So everyone else here who got long as well, holding against 74, they got their stops taken out, and then bam. That was the tell. It's hard for me. I've got to work on, so if I wasn't in that first trade, that second one there, I feel like that would have been one that I could have participated in, or that I would have just jumped on. And so I'm in that one, hold it worked out okay, then got stopped out a little bit here, right here, got stopped out. And I'm watching it, seeing it. I was tempted to change position, to change my attitude then and go short, but I just didn't have the wherewithal to do that. So I recognize that's something that I definitely need to get better at, is just reading after a trade, shortly after I place a trade, what the market's doing. I feel like I'm okay with that before I place a trade, or if I haven't just done one. But in this case, I had a short-term bias long. We got that a little bit, but then that failed, and I need to work on being able to just quickly switch and go back to what I was thinking originally. Originally in the day, my thought was, we're heavy, we push lower, where do I get short? How do I join the party to get short? Definitely didn't want to do it down here. And so it was that getting long that got me a little bit turned around, got me a little bit too subjective, I think. Okay, so ES definitely just grinding lower to the downside. NQ, doing the same, coming up on some decent amount of what could be support down here. All right, let's see if we get any kind of reaction around this area right here on NQ. Oh, and we just blow right through it. Okay, getting a little bit of reaction there. A little bit. Definitely the shorts are taking some off the table there. Pretty big bounce there. All right, NASDAQ, watching on the 15-minute. Let's see here. Okay, let's put up another fib. Fib it. All right. 65 studies. So I had a reactionary uh, movement on the NASDAQ there right at 1400 even. A little bit of a bounce. Emini, a little bit of a bounce here. Not yet a buyer. I'll be right back. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so we came down to 14,000. Really not getting any buyers yet. Definitely some profit taking, but no initiative buying down here. Which why would they be, right? When the daily looks like, let me pull up that view of the daily. Here it is. Not to say we can't bounce. We can always bounce. We can always bounce it. But we're right here, just kind of up, curling down lower. Again, there could be a short-term bounce. Could push up, but this is the macro trend. Let's see, I've got my big letters there. So same thing here. Sorry, this is kind of in the way, but under overnight low, going lower, going lower. That's all she wrote. Oops. Gold's pushing higher, as is silver. Let's see, next area. Not sure. Let me switch it back over to the other screen here. Was it that one? There it is. Okay. Let's see. Video capture device. Why not, right? Oh, yeah. There it is. Pretty bright in the background there. Let me shrink this down. Here we go. Okay. All right, let's see if NASDAQ can do that little bounce down there at the 14,000 area. We're just a few minutes away from a new 15-minute candle. NASDAQ trying to close above it. E-mini trying to do its thing. Let's see where the halfback is on NASDAQ. What we got there. Let's see. A little bit of a bounce here. Got a halfback right there at 14. All right, 15-minute bar is completed. Looks like we tried to get above 50 here, couldn't do it. NASDAQ still right at that 14,000 level. Looks like it's going to be moving lower. Put in some volume here, that's for sure. In the 47 to about 42 area. VWAP still pretty high above. So let's study set VWAP. 68. MNQ. Oh, that should be halfback right there, that yellow line. Now NASDAQ, we're getting a perfect lineup of halfback and VWAP right there at the same spot. So we'll keep note of that. Remove. Right there. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright. Alright, getting a little bit of bounce here on the NASDAQ. Trying to get above 50. At 68 level. Alright, we'll remove that. Oh, getting some good movement here. Alright. Who'd have thunk it? So 14,000 held in the NASDAQ. If we get somewhere up in here, I'm looking for a short. But I'll watch and see what it does first. See if we can make it do what it do. Getting a pretty good bounce here too. Pretty decent sized bounce at that, considering what the market was doing. Pretty big move down on the 5 minute, that's for sure. We went from 58 down to 40. It's part of this one here. Here to about there in about 5 minutes. Almost a 20-point move. All right, let's watch up around this area. Would love to see some confluence from NASDAQ. Let's see what we're at there. 60 basis single price. 62. 38, 48, 58. So right now I'm stalking a short right around here. We're up somewhere between, call it 62 and 68, looking for a short up in there. It's got to give me a little bit more here. So this is what I call a spike trend pullback. It would also be at the halfback, and then I'd be looking for confluence as well from the NASDAQ. Getting close. Boy, it takes patience. But this is our level. If it's much above 68 to 70, I'll know that I'm wrong. Like if it hangs out above there, I'll try to get out of it, or I will get out of it. Part of me wants to try to pull the trigger here, but I'm going to be patient and just wait. Knowing that I might miss it, but if I am patient, I feel like the entry price will be, it'll be a good spot. Really like this halfback area. Want to see us get up to that, but we're facing resistance here with the overnight. I'd like to see the NASDAQ push up a little bit more. I don't have a resting order in just yet. Got another 20 seconds until the 5-minute candle closes. We're right back up pretty much to the scene of that crime. Right, like where that one just got the rug pulled out from under it. So NASDAQ coming in a little bit here as well. All right, new 5-minute candle. Let's see if we can push it a little bit higher up into this area. And then I'm going to start pulling the trigger here. All right, that's what I like to see. Getting close. Getting close, that's for sure. Not there yet. Got another, what do we got? We've had just a steady march up now in the 5 minutes, so I've got to be mindful of that. Watching the 15 minute over here. Definitely have some, boy, I'm tempted. I'm going to sell just a little bit here. Well, no, not yet. Not yet. I might start legging in real small. Well, I want it just a little bit higher, and I'm selling this thing. Watching the 15 minute with all kinds of, well, at least a decent amount of resistance here. But I'm wondering if this is it. If that's that. Watching the 5 minute, we've got 2.5 minutes left on that. Wanting to leg in, but I haven't just yet. Haven't started a position. I might be too shrewd on this one, but this 62 to 64 area, that's the area that I am most interested in. We're close to the halfback here. NASDAQ's nowhere near the halfback just yet. Wondering if this might be the end of the run. I'm hoping that it's not. Hoping we can push just a little bit higher. Kind of need this 5 minute bar to push up a little bit more so we don't get too big of a wick on it. Not getting it just yet. We've got 1.5 minutes left on the 5 minute, and we've got, well, 1.5 minutes left on the 15 minute. Trading, it is an art form. All right, not excited about that. Got 1 more minute to go on the 5 minute. Hoping she can push up into this area. Now if it can, I might start adding some right up here, or putting some on at least. And that's pretty much that. We've got 5 seconds until this 5 minute closes out. Missed it, got close to my level there, wanted it at 62. Couldn't do it. Let's see if we get another attempt to go a little bit higher. Nope, and that looks like it's gonna be it for now. Was probably a little bit too rigid on that one. Shorten it here. I didn't want to give 10 points of risk. All right, let's try this guy here. Okay, still watching it. Still considering. Wanted to see a little bit more movement higher. Hopefully we get it here. Looking for the 62 to 64. NASDAQ showing strength, so that's good. That could kind of pull us up a little bit. Oops. Okay, there is a trade that I will take down here. It's a setup of mine. I call it the 78 pop. Okay. 5, 6, 30. If we get down to that 78 level retracement, I'm keeping in mind though that we are in a downtrend. So the context of the day is down. 15-minute, we're down here, right? Like we came up to resistance, couldn't get through. NASDAQ, we came down. So this is a trade that I'll do. Let's see, 43. I want to give it. On this one, we're going to give it how many points here? 43. About 48 points. I mean, sorry. About 6 points. So I'm looking for a long here around this 43.25 level. And we'll look for 48, then maybe up into 49 and 50. That'll be it. This is more just a quick scalp. This one, if it goes more than 3 points against you, it's time to get out. So let's see. Yeah, so we won't like it here. That'll be like the get out area. That'll be when we get out of Dodge. Now, usually on these kind of pullbacks, if the market's strong, it'll only retrace to about 50, which I think we're right at about 50 right now. But again, we're in a downtrend. So it feels like lower is the trend. I'll be right back. I've got a resting order in there at 43. Let's see. Getting close. Right. Okay, we're getting closer. Got a little bit more left on the 5 minute. We only got a 50% retracement. I'm still looking for this. I'm going to be kind of particular on this trade. Maybe it'll cost me, but I'm looking for that push up. Watching NASDAQ too to see if we can get any strength from it. Let's see if we get up in there. Get all up in that. So I'm looking for a long down here and a short up in here. On this long, looking for a quick kind of a scalp. Not looking to take too much off the table on it. Scale out's going to be like 49 level. For the short up here is a longer term play. If we can get up into here, I feel I'm wrong if it gets above 68 to 70. I'm wrong. All right, let's see if we can finally get up there. Come on. Watching NASDAQ for a little bit of strength as well. I'm tempted to kind of leg in here because we're under a good amount of resistance, but I'm just going to give it a minute. Try to be patient. Well, I will be patient. I'm not going to try. Looking for the 62 level. Got another 3 minutes left on the 15-minute candle. Can't do it. Can't get above. Let's see if that's the end of the party. Yeah, another 2.5 minutes left on the 5-minute candle. Looking for some kind of just push up into this area. Although we have been hanging out here, so I don't want it to get too strong, but looks like that's the resistance we were looking for. Coming lower. Got a break down below this here, and I'll be a buyer down at 43. right, just a minute and a half until our 15-minute bar closes. And do we continue a push to the downside? That's the question that's been on my mind. how well we break this 50 level. Still in a downtrend. Looking for a bit of a bounce here. Oh, but get my order in there. Keeping in mind that we still are just trending lower on the 15-minute here. Gonna see if we can come down and retest, looking for a long right at 43 and a little bounce up to 48, maybe 49. And then if it's below this 40 level, that's where we don't want it. We're not too interested at that level. Getting close, a little bit more. Need just a little bit more of a push. A little bit more, baby. Usually get a good response off of that that 78 fib mark. Come on, just a little bit more. It's close. Boy, I hope I don't. It's tricky, man. I was close up here, just never came to my level. Close down here, tempted to jump in, but all right, I'm in a little bit here. And I'm in a little bit more right there. There we go. Okay. So half position on. Looking for a bit of a bounce up to 48. Gonna get out of 2/3 of my position there if we hit that. If we're wrong and we get below 40, hang out there. I'm cutting it. I'm out. I'm done. Which the odds of that are good. I'm reminding myself on the 15-minute we're still very much to the downside. Context for the day, still very much to the downside. So we've got to be mindful of that. NASDAQ doing the same thing, looking pretty similar to the ES here. Still looking for a bit of a bounce. All right, got another minute and a half left on the 5-minute. Bit of a retrace here. Still looking ugly. This 78 pop always does. It usually looks pretty bad. All right, got a minute left. 5 minutes looking okay, but we really need to get above this 46 area here. holding in there. Got to give it another few minutes, and then if it doesn't behave, we'll just cut bait and get out. Pretty tight stop on these. Stop's going to be near the low of the day. "20 seconds till the 5-minute finishes doing its thing. Hoping we get a little bit of a hold here on the 5-minute. Really need to see it stay above this line here, but it's just looking weak. All right, moment of truth here. NASDAQ doing the same thing, trying to push lower, looking like it's going to. Keeping in mind we're still in this downtrend, right? Like, market's just fading lower, lower, and lower. It's holding above our 40 level. Might not be for long though. We could get some big sellers coming in here. All right, looking to get out of a little bit right there. 44. Still looking ugly. Oops. Let's see, got the 10 there. Okay, don't like this candle. Pretty close to getting stopped out here. Oh. All right, I'm out. That's it. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Well, that might be it for me for today. It's 11. Um, that one, yeah. Kind of fighting City Hall on that one, which I was mindful of. We're just on this lower downtrend. Came up to our resistance here. Wanted to short it up in this area. Just missed it by 2 points. This definitely would have been the area to go ahead and try to get a business plan together, do something in here, and see if we could get some continuation on the downside, which we did. So that's that on that trade. Wanted to see just a little bit more, a little bit stronger of a move up. But it makes sense, right? I mean, if you've got a ton of people licking their chops here, you probably can sell it here and know that you're going to be able to lean on these guys here and these guys. But if I was short here, or we'll say 58, I would have been comfortable if it getting up into here. I would have considered that I was wrong above 68, and for me, it was just too much heat that I was willing to risk. So would have had a risk of 10 points on that one. But then looking to make 10, and then also a follow through at least down to this 78 retracement level, which would have been about 15 points then, right? About 15 points. So it looks like anyone who shorted definitely took some off the table here, and then that was that. So good risk to reward on that one too. So that was 2 trades today that we just, now this one was plain as day. Just missed that one. I was in a trade and got out of it, was a little spun around and just didn't execute there. This one got close to my entry level, just never got up there. Was hoping to see a little bit more of a pop in NASDAQ to bring us up in here and join the party. That, however, didn't happen, and right now we're just continuing to cascade to the downside. Not looking for any kind of long in here. It's good to be mindful of context. I'm going to remove this. It's kind of in the way right here. Remove. Okay. So let's take a look here. Good to be mindful of context. Let me switch over to the other screen. What are we on here for? Let's go over here and look at this screen. So that trade that I took, the one I call 78 pop, that's what I'm looking for, to have a retracement, then a little bit of a pop. It's definitely a scalp, and it usually happens within a few minutes, which that didn't happen here. And I figured it was a low probability trade just because of the fact that our overall context is just down to the downside. So at that point, I thought, some guys who shorted it might take a little bit off the table. We might get a little bit of a pop, which we didn't get at all. It just came to 78, held there, and then continued to push lower. So that's something to keep in mind too. I wonder as well if, let's see, looking at the 1 minute here, I remember earlier in the day, right, this is where we got long, down in here, this area, came up here, and the area that I had for a target for a scale out was 94. Now, luckily, I got out of half of my position right here at 90 and 89. But 94 looked like if it should have held, and we couldn't even get up there. I probably should have been a little bit more mindful of that when we were testing this area, thinking the market's weak today. We've got a lot of sellers. The context is down. Let's try a little stab at it right in here, right at this 58, 57 level. And especially on that second time. I was close to pulling the trigger, but just didn't. Thought, we might get a little bit more movement. And I was, like I said, I was willing to get short at 62, risk up to 68, have, and maybe even 70 if it got ugly, have 6 to 8 points worth of risk in order to try to capture 10 and then, hopefully 15 and even more. So just missed that one. And that's just how it is sometimes. Sometimes you just miss it. You can't be on every single trade. Oops, let me change that to 5 minute. Let's do 5 minute here. There we go. Trend is still lower. Lower, lower, lower. Lower trend. Trend is still lower. Let's look at the 1 minute here. All right, we've got some strength here, that's for sure. 31, 50. All right, still, we got a ways yet to get up to here. Still watching it though. Oh boy. Still stalking a short. Pretty big move here. A little, I don't want to say it's atypical, but just wondering if there's any news, anything like that. Pretty big move. Okay, let's see, 31 up to 53. All right, let's see what we can put together here. Watching the 15-minute here. Oh, we've got 9 more minutes left until the 15-minute is done. Definitely watching the 15-minute on the NASDAQ. A little bit of a fast mover today. Good amount of tempo. Yesterday had a good amount of movement in the day. It just meandered around for quite a while. Decent little pop there. So I might try the 78 pop again. Mindful though, always got to be mindful that we are in a downtrend and we've got resistance up above here. Still put in a lower high. So that's important to be mindful of. Getting rejected here pretty hard. trend still to the downside. We've got just another minute, 40 seconds until this 5-minute candle is done here. Overall trend, macro trend, down for the day. That's the overall context. Resistance right up here. Support, not sure. Well, NASDAQ support's been about the 1400 level. We're going to see if it can hold in there. Again, I'm not in love with this trade here, but it's one I'm going to take a crack at it. So I call it the 78 pop. I would be getting along right here at 36. Let's call it 36 half. And then looking for, it's kind of a scalp. It's a quick mover. Right around where it is right now. Looking for it to get up there. Trend is down for the day, but on this one I'll leave a runner on just in case we want to get strong and try to get up into this area again. That would be beneficial on that type of a play. All right, new 15. Oh no, sorry, we're 4.5 minutes away from a new 15-minute candle. All right, 3 minutes left on the 15-minute bar. See what we can put together here. Got another 2 minutes on the 15-minute bar. Trend is to the downside, trending lower for sure. 44, where we wanted it, 36. We'll have to see about that. All right, minute and a half left on the 15-minute. Just over a minute left. Oh man, we got close there. Let's see if this one hits it. Got really close. Okay. All right, we hit it. Let's see if this 78 pop can work this time. I am mindful that we are in a down trending market. Mindful of that. All right, we got filled there. Pretty big movement off of it. NASDAQ's trying to hold its recent low. Got this new 15-minute bar. Watching on the 1 minute. This should be interesting as far as if we can push up and get a run up into here. Still holding. Gonna sell a little piece right here. Selling another little piece. All right. Okay, 5 minutes looking good. I'm still mindful that we are in a downtrending market, so I'm not gonna get crazy with wanting this thing to just give me a bunch of profit. But I do like the price action of this little spike here. So that was a bit more than I anticipated as far as how quickly it moved like that. Gonna have our stops just right at the low of that spike. Figuring if it gets below that, I don't want it. So far I've taken 40% of the trade off. And I've got my stops right at that level there. It'd be nice if we could hold that and kind of run up into, let's see, what is it? What level? Run up into this 54 level, 55 level. But still, at this point, we're fighting City Hall. Right, the trend has just been down, down, down all day. Getting a little bit of whether it's responsive buying here or initiative. It's anyone's guess. So took some off the table. Pretty much my stop now is at break even. I was long here at 36. Took off 40% up here, so the rest of it is just going to be remaining right here. Wanting to see NASDAQ stay above, kind of hold tight here. Next target, yeah, we'll call it 50, 54. All right, we got another minute left in the 5 minute. Not adding any right here. 5-minute looking good, kinda. We got 30 more seconds till it closes out. It is a doji. 15-minute looking nice as well, with that little retest there. Stop in place, which is a must. Yep, stop in place. Here we go. Let's see what the market gives us. Okay, new 15-minute, new 5-minute, or no, sorry, new 5-minute only. 15 minutes, old, crusty, and stale. Still in a downtrend. I am mindful of this. I'm fighting City Hall. This trade is, I'm usually looking for 7 points on it. So we got 10 on 40% of our position. I might be foolish for holding on to it. Maybe should have taken off 60% up here instead of 40%. But we did take some profit on the trade. My stop is such that the rest of the position that's on the 60%, if it does get down here, it'll just scratch it out. No biggie. And so it will be a profitable trade either way. But yeah, I'm mindful that we are fighting the trend. Fighting the trend. I've been talking about that the whole day. The trend just being lower, 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 lower. So at this point, definitely a coin toss. Do we go higher, lower? What do we do? Close to hitting that stop. Dangerously close. Got to stay above this to show strength. NASDAQ still pushing lower. Looks like ES is trying to push lower as well. Seeing if we hit some stops there. All right, almost out. Okay, I'm out. Stopped out of the remainder of that position. I'm going to buy a small piece here against the low of the day, real tiny. Oops. Well, that wick was nice there. Good for a bit of a spike. It did what it was supposed to do. So on that 78 pop, I'm looking for 7 points usually. And it gave us 10. Quickly. Had to be kind of quick on your feet with that one. Had to be quick on your feet with that one. So my overall hypothesis from this morning proves to be correct thus far, right? I liked it short earlier in the day. Then you try to find a spot for where can I express my desire to get short? Where can I express my shortness? That's the question. And right here, the last few trades, I've been just bucking the trend, trying to get long here. Didn't work. Got long here, took off 40% here, took the rest of it off over here, and just recently got in super tiny down here, just holding it against this low, hoping to see us get back in here, but still aware we're by taking that long trade, I'm just fighting the trend. NASDAQ still looks weak. S&P looks weak. This one's a lotto play for me. It's really small. Stop is super tight. First target gonna be up here into 40. Market just can't get lifted. The buyers just are not interested. Not having it just yet. Fighting the trend. Fighting City Hall. Can't fight City Hall, man. Got all this resistance up here. Right there. All right, we've got 3 more minutes left until we've got a new 5-minute. All right, I'm out of a little bit of mine. I'm out of let's see, a third of it. See if we can't get back up into the spike area here. NASDAQ still looking very weak. Emini still looking weak. 5-minute, not looking good. I'll show you the 5-minute. Here we go. Here's 5 minutes. So came down, try to get up. Now we've got another 30 seconds on the 5 minute, but to try to get up anywhere into here, it's got to get up above 36 here pretty quick. And NASDAQ is just still on its butt. Let's look at NASDAQ here. So still just at the lows. Came up to resistance there. Tried to getting close to resistance. Couldn't move above. That's it. Failed. So there's no reason, I don't think, why we shouldn't continue to just move further south. Unless something drastically changes, but so I'm in here, took a little bit off here, 36, 37. My entry was right here at 29.5, so it was a good entry, just holding a tiny bit against that. If it takes it out, it takes it out. We're close. Looks like it's probably going to run it, and then just move further lower, looking for buyers. All right, new 15-minute candle. 5-minute candle hanging out just here at the low. Tell you, this is what you like to see if you're a short seller. If you shorted this guy up here, it's what you like to see. All right, stops are out, and that's it. Question is, where does the selling stop today? Where do we get cessation of the selling? That's anybody's guess, really. Could it be here? I don't know. All right, ran that. Took stops out there. 15 minutes still very weak. Kind of getting interesting here at this level though. Just looking at the daily, we've come down a pretty good ways. Trying to find support. Watching the 5 minute. We've got another 2.5 minutes until the 5 minute closes out. Looking like we could have a wick here. Could happen. Stranger things have happened, right? Stranger things. They've happened.